Namaskar. We shall discuss today on credit audit. So, banks, whether it is private or nationalized, are under obligation to facilitate credit audit for the high value loans and advances as per the RBI guidelines through the chartered accountants for knowing the asset quality and inherent risks in that asset, so to take timely steps to correct the same within a short period, reasonable period, to avoid the asset slippage into NPA. A chartered accountant is also under obligation, have a responsibility to prove himself on the guidelines of the RBI and inform the bank suitably the risks associated and the mitigations for the assets in detailed manner as the requirement of the banks, as per the requirements of the RBI, as per the policies of the bank in a approved format provided by the bank to the chartered accountant. A professional should request the required documents and policies along with the compliance checks to execute the tasks efficiently and effectively. So, the professional should ask the bank the documents, the policies, the required material to execute the credit audit. First and foremost, the policies and frameworks. So every bank has normally the board approved credit policy, credit sanction policy, credit risk management policy, and the credit monitoring policy. You should obtain all the four for the better execution of the credit audit. Side by side, every bank has the recovery policy also. That is also a board approved policy, which includes the timeline for recovery and actions for the delinquent accounts. Latest RBI circulars, either you should demand from the bank or you should search the RBI website for the latest circulars, and you should know, you should have the updated knowledge about the RBI circulars, which have to be complied by the bank, which include income recognition policy, एनपीए क्लासिफिकेशन कैसे करना है उसमें, provisioning norms, etc. And Reserve Bank of India has also issued fair practices code for lenders, fair practices code for NBFC, for housing finance company, for microfinance company, and other lending companies also. A RBI approved master directions of fair practice code is also available on the site, or you should ask from the particular branch or the bank. Risk management policy, what I have mentioned earlier, that every bank has generally the credit risk management policy. So here, what up to what extent the risk appetite of the bank, what are the measure of risk identification, mitigation, and monitoring adopted by the bank. So in every bank, ladder-wise sanction delegation are given to the manager, regional manager, zonal manager, etc., etc. So this authority is different at the different levels, You should know about that. But suppose a loan of 1000 crore is sanctioned by the branch manager, so something is doubtful. Might be he is not empowered to sanction the 1000 crore loan at the branch level. So loan specific documents you should obtain. A bank has the policy to issue a sanction letter to the borrower and a acceptance of the terms and conditions of the loan by the borrower, and that should be on record. So it should be in your hand. You should demand the loan specific documents, and by this sanction letter you can know the in and outs of the loan sanctioned to the borrower. Loan application form should contain the know your customer documents, which are broadly expressed and informed by the RBI through the master guidelines on KYC, know your customer. If a project loan is type of that it will have some moratorium period, etc., so you should obtain the project reports for the term loans that may be submitted by the borrower, and that should be held on record by the bank. So financial statement audited for the last 3 years and unaudited for the current time, suppose September, December, etc., or in between. If the loan is sanctioned for the working capital loan, see that on which frequency the customer is guided to submit the stock and book debt statement, and so that bank can fix his drawing power according to the stock and book debt. If borrower defaults, that should be reported into the credit audit report. Collateral and security documents. If the bank has obtained the collateral securities, whether it is mortgaged, whether it is hypothecated, whether it is guarantee, or if it is mortgage, etc., title deeds of the properties you have obtained or not, they should be held with along with legal search, legal opinion, proper valuation report, and RBI also mandated that after a time interval, suppose 3 years for valuation and 6 months for every time encumbrance search report, that should also be updated in the loan documents simultaneously. If not, this is the reportable matter. So credit appraisal note, check, read, evaluate the credit appraisal note prepared by the bankers before sanctioning the loan. On behalf of that, the sanction letter is issued, and in the appraisal format, the proper sanctioning authority sanction the loan by reading the credit appraisal note. Inspection report, periodic inspection reports of the borrower unit, assets to be conducted, to be held on the record as per the sanction letter, as per the guidelines given to the borrower. Now, bank has to submit the compliance report to the head office, to the RBI, to the FINU, or and so many platforms. So check that whether they are there. Previous credit audit report you should go through. NPA statement, if the CBS system is working, it easily throw the SMS statement in the morning, exceptional reports, CTR report, so you can check that and for the better monitoring of the NPAs. Internal audit report is also very, very important for you to check the some part of the credit audit, credit appraisal, and loan management. सो कंप्लायंस चेक यदि प्री सैंक्शन स्टेज में हम करेंगे, सो केवाईसी कंप्लायंस पूरा होना चाहिए, इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ द बोरोवर्स फाइनेंशियल्स सब होने चाहिए, सिविल स्कोर बेटर होना चाहिए, यदि अलग तरह की क्रेडिट रेटिंग ली गई है सो वह भी ट्रिपल ए, ट्रिपल बी, सी, डी, जिस तरह भी रेटिंग है वो एज पर दी बैंक्स गाइडलाइंस होनी चाहिए। एडुकेसी ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट फिजिबिलिटी स्टडीज होनी चाहिए, असेसमेंट ऑफ डेट इक्विटी रेशियो, सो यहां पर भी गाइडलाइंस होती हैं। जनरली जितनी नेटवर्थ होती है बोरोवर की उसके 5 गुने से ज्यादा लोन नहीं दिया जाता। तो डेट इक्विटी रेशियो इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू चेक कि लोन ज्यादा तो नहीं दिया गया है, और इंटरनल क्रेडिट पॉलिसी नॉर्म्स को भी हमें चेक करना है। पोस्ट सैंक्शन sanction letter to be issued to the borrower, it should be acknowledged, it should be signed by the borrower for accepting the terms and condition, and that should be on the record. Security creation, every security creation should be uploaded or informed at the सरसई portal, otherwise bank will be in the soup, और जिसने पहले चार्ज क्रिएट किया फिर उसका माना जाएगा। एंश्योर चार्जेस आर रजिस्टर्ड विद रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ कंपनीज, यदि कंपनी है तो आरओसी में चार्ज क्रिएट करना पड़ता है, और सब कुछ होने के बाद, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होने के बाद, यदि सब कुछ ठीक है तो डिसबर्समेंट भी देखना है क्या इन लाइन हुआ है क्या सैंक्शन टर्म्स में। मान लीजिए लोन तो गाड़ी का बीएमडब्ल्यू के लिए हुआ और वहां जाके वो अल्टो खरीद ले, तो दैट इज नॉट द कंप्लायंस ऑफ द टर्म्स। और एंड यूज का सर्टिफिकेट या तो बोरोवर देगा या एज पर गाइडलाइंस it is generally given by the chartered accountant or the other person that this has been utilized properly. लोन डिसबर्समेंट करने के बाद भी बैंक का रोल खत्म नहीं होता है। बैंक का पैसा है साहब, लोगों का पैसा है, वापस आना चाहिए। मॉनिटरिंग इज वेरी वेरी कंपल्सरी। सो रीपेमेंट मॉनिटरिंग हमेशा करते रहना चाहिए। रिव्यू रीपेमेंट शेड्यूल्स, कंप्लायंस विद दी बोरोवर्स, जैसे ही खाता एसएमए 0 में जाता है उसी समय से फॉलो अप बहुत तेजी से करना पड़ेगा। चेक फॉर ओवरड्यूज एंड इरेगुलर अकाउंट्स, एनपीए मैनेजमेंट nowadays इज वेरी वेरी क्रूशियल बिकॉज ये ट्रेंड थोड़ा मार्केट में बढ़ रहा है, परंतु बैंकों को लोन भी देना पड़ता है। बिना लोन के तो बात बनती नहीं है। शिप को तो पानी में जाना है, चाहे डूबे या रहे, तो बट मिटिगेशन प्रोसेस हम लोग मैनेज करेंगे। तो क्लासिफिकेशन रिव्यू कीजिए एज पर आरबीआई नॉर्म्स, एसएस प्रोविजनिंग कंप्लायंस फॉर एनपीए बैंकों को करना पड़ेगा। पीरियोडिक इंस्पेक्शन बैंकों ने किया क्या, स्टॉक का, बुक डेट्स का, वर्किंग कैपिटल एसेट्स का, और क्रॉस चेक विद फिजिकल प्रेजेंस एंड कंडीशंस ऑफ द प्लेज्ड एसेट। कहीं प्लेज एसेट कोई धराशायी तो नहीं हो गई है, फर्जी तो नहीं हो गई है। ऐसे केसेस भी सुनने में आए हैं पहले समय में कि अब तो इतना ज्यादा नहीं है कि लोगों को लोन दिया, कोई इंस्पेक्शन करने ही नहीं गया, पूरा लोन डिसबर्स हो गया और वहां पर मकान या एसेट खड़ी ही नहीं हुई। रिव्यू एंड रिन्यूअल, रिव्यू एवरी ईयर या जो टाइमलाइन सेट की गई है होना ही चाहिए। अगर 2 बार से एडहॉक रिव्यू के बाद भी नहीं होता तो लोन एनपीए में चला जाता है। और यदि रिव्यू कर रहे हैं, एडहॉक अनाउंसमेंट कर रहे हैं, तो प्रॉपर जस्टिफिकेशन होना चाहिए। एडहेरेंस टू द आरबीआई नॉर्म्स, check adherence to exposure norms, sectoral caps, priority sector lending targets, and review compliance with restructuring guidelines if applicable. Interest rate compliance, this is very, very important area. Interest is directly attached to the profitability of the bank. If less interest is charged on the customer, if NPA becomes an asset, then interest is directly affected. Ensure interest rates are applied as per sanction terms and applicable guidelines. Reporting and documents. So, verify completeness and correctness of all the documents in credit files. Generally, legal person gives a certificate that he has checked all the documents after execution and they are enforceable into the court and complete in all respects. So, ensure proper recording of all decisions and approvals. Now, a chartered accountant should also visit some of the assets, some of the borrowers, and interact with the borrowers to understand their operational challenges and compliance. Cross-verify bank data with the regulatory submissions, borrower submissions for consistency. And internal control should also be assess how robust it is for the monitoring mechanism. So this is on behalf of the credit audit. So it's a very, very lengthy subject. You can write a 10-page book or a 1000-page book on this subject. I have tried to consolidate in few slides. You can go through the related aspects through RBI circulars, which is easily available for all the professionals, bankers, senior citizens for reading and evaluating the same. So, धन्यवाद, namaskar, namaskar.